Today, I want to take a moment and talk about the Recast T'Challa movement. I've noted in my past videos that I'm a recaster because some recent comments from people expressing what I feel are inaccuracies about the movement, let alone what Chadwick Boseman said in his own words, I've decided to do this video to address the topic. Before I begin, I just have to say this. It always amazes me that some recasters, not all, but some always skip the first tenets of the actual Recast T'Challa petition. Recasters did not ask for T'Challa to be recasted for Wakanda Forever. We understood that it was too early to do that. All we said and all we asked from Marvel is not to kill the character off. Just leave the character around so that he can be reintroduced later. And so I just wanted to take a moment to show the actual petition so that people can see that recasters were not saying we needed to recast him for Wakanda Forever. We understood that. We got that. So anyway, moving on. One of the most cited reasons for supporting Marvel's decision not to recast T'Challa is the belief that we're honoring Chadwick Boseman by retiring his character. As I already mentioned, there have been plenty of YouTube videos, including Chadwick Boseman's own commencement comments in 2018 at Howard University, his alma mater. In that speech, Chadwick used an example from his own life when he lost his first real acting job on a TV show because he questioned the producers about his character. He called losing their job a bitter pill, but ultimately he felt that God was using him at times to plant a seed with the characters that he portrayed so that some other actor could come along and experience the increase. Paraphrasing. And I think it's really interesting that in that particular example, the actor who replaced him on the show was none other than Michael B. Jordan. There are more clips of Chadwick Boseman talking about the importance of T'Challa and the Black Panther character and revealing that he's a very faithful person. Plus, his brother, Derek Boseman, is an ordained minister and has also talked about Chadwick's faith. So it just really boggles my mind that so many people in my community who are also spiritually minded would overlook the actor's words. A recent survey by the Pew Research Center said that only 17% of African American adults seldom or never attend church. That means that 83% of us attend church at least once a month, with the majority, 47%, attending church weekly. I'm willing to bet that of the 17% who seldom or never attend services, the majority of them were also raised in church-going homes. You know, I put myself in that 17%, but I was raised in that kind of a home, and I still interact on a regular basis with friends who are regular church attendees, ministers, bishops, pastors, what have you. We are a very spiritually minded people. And so when you have an actor who is talking about his faith and he feels like God is using him to plant the seed, why do so many people in my community oppose Chadwick's own words? Not to get preachy here or anything like that, but whenever it comes down to trusting what men say, in this case Marvel, versus relying on God giving you a calling in your life, we've always sided with the idea that God is the answer. At least the majority of us in my community do. So why are we turning our normal reaction upside down to support Marvel's decision? We see this strange reversal of how things are normally done when anti-recasters repeat Kevin Feige's December 10th, 2020 announcement that it's much too soon to think about recasting T'Challa. Some within the media, who fully supported Marvel's decision, went as far as to say that recasting T'Challa would actually disrespect Boseman's legacy. Let's talk about how things are normally done and are never called disrespectful. Not too long after Kevin Feige made his statement about not recasting T'Challa, William Hurt, who played Thunderbolt Ross, died. And what did Marvel do? They acted the way most studios have always acted when an actor portraying an ongoing character dies. They almost immediately announced that they were going to recast the character with Harrison Ford. Now, I have to ask the obvious question. Is that being disrespectful to the memory of William Hurt and the legacy he left behind with this character? He portrayed this character since the first official MCU movie, The Incredible Hulk. So are we being disrespectful to him? Nobody ever thought about saying that, so why are we turning reality upside down yet again when it comes to T'Challa? Why is recasting that character disrespectful, but it's not disrespectful to recast Thunderbolt Ross? So let's look at the Joker. I remember Jack Nicholson's Joker. I saw that movie when it first came out, and Nicholson's portrayal was iconic. And then Heath Ledger came along, and he actually talked to Jack Nicholson about how to play his Joker, and Jack Nicholson gave him some advice. And what happened? Heath Ledger's portrayal of Joker also became iconic. And then when Heath Ledger died, nobody from WB nor Chris Nolan came out and announced that they would retire the Joker. Christian Bale didn't speak out. Jack Nicholson didn't speak out. Nobody came out and said that we should retire the Joker because we want to respect Heath Ledger's iconic portrayal, and it would be disrespectful to recast the character. No, the Joker was recasted, and when Joaquin Phoenix was announced, nobody protested. And when his movie went on to make $1 billion and his version also became iconic, nobody had anything negative to say. Well, there were the side issues with incels and stuff. But getting back to the point, all of these actors had a chance to create their versions of the Joker. It's a legacy, just like Superman is a legacy and Batman is a legacy. But you might be saying, okay, but those were different Jokers and different iterations of Batman. We're talking about replacing T'Challa in the same series. Fine, then let's look at Harry Potter. When Richard Harris, the original Dumbledore actor, died after only 2 movies, Warner Brothers recasted the character. No studio exec talked about Harrison's iconic portrayal of Dumbledore and how it would disrespect his legacy to recast, or that it was too soon to recast. Nobody had a protest when the new actor appeared on film. Now, some fans, including me, were kind of thrown off by the new actor, Michael Gambon, and his more energetic version of Dumbledore because Richard Harris, he looked and acted like the iconic old wizard. Many book fans felt he embodied the Dumbledore from the books. And although Michael Gambon appeared as a much younger and more energetic Dumbledore, we adjusted to the change. We all cried when his version of Dumbledore died in a later film. Nobody said this was disrespectful to Richard Harris. Nobody in their right mind would have expected the series to go on without a Dumbledore. Nobody expected the studio to move the mantle of Hogwarts headmaster to Professor McGonagall for the remaining 5 movies. If they had suggested something so boneheaded, the fans would have rioted. So again, why do we, my community, turn reality upside down when it doesn't make any sense in any other context? And what about this statement or opinion that recasting T'Challa would cause a huge backlash in the Black fandom?
This is a lie.
Simply put, I don't think it would happen at all. Like with Harry Potter, we fans of Black Panther would immediately adjust and keep going. I'm convinced that the day you see one of these talented brothers play T'Challa and we see what we have regained and have been missing, nobody is going to create a backlash, well, except maybe for some fringe elements. Unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman himself died, but the character could live on, and you can have other people step into that role and be that role model for our young people. Finally, I want to address Boseman's last performance of T'Challa on the What If Disney Plus series. Some recasters had an issue with the portrayal of T'Challa in the What If episode, What If T'Challa Became Star-Lord? And I understand because there was the troubling visual of a young African boy being stolen from his home country and taken to a faraway land. Given that, we have to ask, well, why did Chadwick Boseman choose to play his iconic character one final time for this series? Now, this is my opinion, and of course, all of this is my opinion. But in this case, I really feel that what so many of us miss is the fact that this version of T'Challa represented Chadwick Boseman's final word on the character's importance. What do I mean by that? Well, the episode made it extremely clear that if you take T'Challa out of Wakanda, away from his role as the Black Panther, and even take him off Earth into the other side of the galaxy, no matter where he goes in the universe, T'Challa will create a positive change. That is a powerful message to send, and I think that's why Chadwick Boseman agreed to reprise T'Challa for the show despite the troubling elements. He changed the Ravagers, he changed his enemies, he changed Thanos. That's a powerful message that a black man, no matter where you put him, can create a positive change. You're not going to convince me that Chadwick Boseman didn't consider that part of his mission, his calling, and part of the reason he was put here on this earth. You can't honor his legacy by not allowing the next actor to carry that powerful message forward. This character has meaning in and of himself. Absent the mantle, absent the trappings of Wakanda, the man himself, the character, and what he represents is powerful. And of course, Marvel knows this. And so does Chadwick's brother, which is why Derek Boseman made this comment just a few days before Kevin Feige's infamous announcement.
A black man being a king does not fit the narrative of
Not at all.
what they want the world
Yeah.
to see. A black man being a victim, yeah. Black man being killed in the streets, yeah. But a black man being a king is not the narrative that they want the world to see, and I don't think they liked the response that came back from a black man being a king.